If man is to reap the bounty of the deep, he must learn all he can about the ocean and its contents. To this end, our marine laboratories in Volcania are stepping up their research capabilities. The sophisticated diving methods and saturation diving techniques of the Nautilus have dramatically increased the time man can live comfortably and for long periods in the ocean depths. It seems safe to assume that one day, future generations will be released from their terrestrial bonds and achieve absolute freedom in liquid space. We hope that this voyage you're about to take, 20,000 leagues under the sea, will stimulate your interest in the phenomenon of life in the ocean depths. Modern man's most compelling interest in the ocean lies in its great potential for renewable resources, not only of protein-rich food, but also in the wealth of minerals, energy, and drugs. Our recent explorations have revealed vast deposits of minerals that can be mined. At Volcania, we have tapped the ebb and flow of the tides to produce clean and efficient electric power. One of the most promising areas of investigation is in the field of marine biomedicine. We are discovering many antibiotics and other useful drugs in ocean organisms. There are many, many other potentialities to be found in the Earth's last frontier. But we must always keep in mind that the bounty of the sea is not limitless. Man must be prudent in his exploration and utilization of this last great storehouse of natural wealth. How old is the Earth? How was it formed? These and other questions about our watery planet have intrigued man since the beginning of time. As far as we know, oceans have existed for some 4.5 billion years. And for about the last 100 million years, the sea has been a living, dynamic world, shaping and reshaping continents. Geologically speaking, mountains have been raised, then worn away by falling and running water, the debris carried onto the lowlands, and then back to the sea. Our marine scientists at Volcania believe that the sediments below the waves contain a continuous record of terrestrial history. And to this end, we keep probing the ocean floor. To primitive man, the oceans were merely a source of fear, fascination, and fish. About 3 millenniums ago, the seas became a highway over which to carry national power and culture as well as trade. The history of civilization is largely the story of seafaring men who quested for ever farther shores. They saw the ocean as a wilderness and a challenge. They used the sea, but only on its terms. Now we appear to be on the verge of taming the restless sea. If there are intelligent beings on other planets, they might very well have a different name for our Earth. Perhaps Oceanus would be more appropriate. For from their vantage point, they can see the vast areas of water that cover over 70% of the surface of this oasis in space.
Secure ship for sea. Make all preparations for getting underway.
Aye, aye, sir. All hands to station. Sail up all lines. Cast off board. Cast off aft. Secure hatches and vents. Stand by, engines. All station manned, sir. Ship rigged for getting underway.
Go ahead, 1/3.
All head 1/3. Aye, aye.
Stand by to dive.
Diving stations.
Dive! Dive! You're down at the sea.
Aye, aye. Trim bow diving planes. 3 degrees down.
Catch her at 10 fathoms.
Aye, aye.
Here she goes.
This is Captain Nemo speaking. Welcome aboard the Nautilus. We are proceeding on a course that will take us on a voyage 20,000 leagues under the sea. En route, we will pass beneath the polar ice cap, and then probe depths seldom seen by man. So make yourselves comfortable, but please remain seated at all times. Here among the reefs, you will see many familiar inhabitants of the undersea world. The great green sea turtles, for instance, are the reptilian patriarchs of the deep. These amphibious descendants of the dinosaur have changed little in the past 200 million years. Groupers, or giant sea bass, roam the coastal bottoms in search of food. The giant clam, obviously, is quite safe from such marine predators. The fish world has always been considered a silent habitat, but with our sonar hydrophones, we've discovered that fish actually talk. Listen. Witness the crew from one of our satellite ships. They are harvesting the abundance that nature has sown here beneath the sea. Kelp beds are cultivated, sea creatures corralled and protected from predators, just as terrestrial shepherds protect their flocks from ravenous wolves.
Surface storm ahead, sir.
Weather alert. All controls 8 degrees down. Hold her at 80 fathoms and proceed on course. The Nautilus can dive safely below the violence of ocean storms. Surface vessels are not so fortunate. Witness the evidence of their fate. The graveyard of lost ships. For ages, these rotting hulls have kept their secret treasures, safeguarded by silent sentinels of the deep. Man-eating sharks, nature's most unpredictable predators of the sea.
Raise the polar ice cap, sir. There's a clear channel of 40 fathoms.
Steady as she goes. In this region of the polar ice cap, you are witnessing a rare visual phenomenon. The aurora borealis above us.
Iceberg thickening, sir.
Take her deep, and keep an eye on the depth gauge. We have passed beneath the North Pole and are now descending into that region in deeper water where the sun has never penetrated. Here, in this realm of eternal darkness, nature has provided her creatures with their own eerie luminescence.
Warning light, sir. We've reached maximum depth limit.
Take her back up to 80 fathoms.
80 fathoms. Aye, aye.
There are limits beyond which man and his puny efforts cannot survive. We have almost exceeded those limits.
Unusual formation to port and starboard, sir.
These crumbling heaps of stone betray the hand of man. I believe we've made a startling discovery. These classic ruins could very well be the legendary lost continent of Atlantis. Some scholars theorize that a remarkable civilization was destroyed by a tremendous volcano. Others treat any concept of Atlantis as pure fantasy, along with legends of sea serpents and mermaids.
Begging your pardon, sir, but did you say sea serpents are mere fantasies?
Belay there, mate. Anyone in his right mind knows there's no such thing as a sea serpent or mermaids. Mr. Baxter, if you think you're seeing mermaids and sea monsters, you've been submerged too long.
Captain Nemo, sir. We're experiencing unusual turbulence. It's a ruddy underwater volcano, sir.
By Neptune's flippers, this confirms it. That seething mountain still denies rest to the civilization it submerged thousands of generations ago. Helmsman, steer clear the tottering columns! Red alert!
Red alert! All hands to sleep.
Trim the tanks.
Captain, don't split days! It's disabled the submarine, sir.
Good Lord! It's one of ours. Its hull has been crushed like an eggshell.
Another monster's attacking forward, sir.
Full repellent charge!
Repellent charge, aye, aye. Maximum voltage.
All ahead!
All ahead, aye, aye. Hold that to rehearse.
Emergency maneuver. All engines. Stand by to surface. Surface!
Surface! Surface! Surface! We've raised volcania, sir.
Proceed on course. All ahead.
All ahead, aye, aye.
Station the maneuvering watch.
Aye, aye, sir. All hands to stations.
Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments we will be docking at Volcania, our home port. It has been a pleasure having you aboard the Nautilus on this memorable voyage that has taken us 20,000 leagues under the sea. Captain to bridge. Reduce speed and proceed to number 4 berth. Stand by to dock.
Bridge, aye, aye. All ahead, 1/3. Stand by the mooring line.
Thank you for sailing with us. And now, when the cabin lights come on, please stand by to disembark. Gather your belongings, take small children by the hand, and watch your step. All ashore, please. All ashore.